Have you ever wondered if the woman you're drawn to secretly feels the same, but hides it so well you're left second-guessing every move? That uncertainty eats at a man's confidence, doesn't it? Because deep down, you sense something, but she won't give it away, at least not openly. And that's where most men fail. They miss the signals, ignore the subtleties, and walk away believing she wasn't interested, when in reality, she was silently hoping he'd see through her guard. Women are rarely as direct as men when it comes to attraction. That's not weakness, it's strategy. For thousands of years, female psychology has evolved to test, to observe, to filter out men who don't pay attention. A woman who likes you may not confess it outright, but she'll reveal it in layers, through signals so subtle, you almost need to train your eyes and instincts to catch them. If you don't, you'll keep misreading her silence as rejection, when it could actually be desire restrained by fear of vulnerability. Think about this. When a woman avoids staring into your eyes too long, yet seems hyper-aware of your presence, what's happening? When her tone shifts ever so slightly when she speaks to you compared to others, what does that tell you? She may not announce her feelings, but her body, her energy, her timing, those are her real confessions. And the man who learns to read them gains an advantage most men will never touch. The truth is, women fear one thing more than rejection: losing their mystery. If she exposes too much too soon, she risks being taken for granted. So she'll mask her attraction with indifference, while secretly amplifying it in ways she hopes the right man notices. And here's the catch: you can't just listen to her words. You have to tune into the unspoken language she doesn't even realize she's projecting. Most men look for big signs: a smile, a laugh, an obvious compliment. But the women who are truly interested often hide behind restraint, hoping the right man has enough awareness to see beneath the surface. That man becomes unforgettable. That man becomes the one she cannot ignore. A woman who secretly likes you will rarely act the way movies or television have taught you to expect. Instead, her interest leaks through in moments that almost feel accidental, though they are anything but. She'll find reasons to be around you without making it obvious. Maybe she shows up in places you frequent, frames it as coincidence, yet deep down, she wanted to be where you are. These subtle patterns are her way of circling closer while still protecting her pride. Pay attention to her level of attentiveness. If she remembers details you barely noticed you shared, it's not random, it's investment. She locks those details away because they matter to her. A woman uninterested won't recall the way you take your coffee, the small frustrations you vented about work, or the book you said you wanted to read. But a woman who secretly cares will store those details like gold, waiting for the right moment to bring them up, because it's her way of saying, "I'm paying attention to you more than anyone else." Her body language tells an even deeper story. She may angle her body toward you in group settings without realizing it. She may fix her hair more often, adjust her clothing, or touch her lips lightly while you're talking. These aren't random fidgets. These are instinctive signals tied to attraction, buried so deep in her psychology that she couldn't stop them even if she wanted to. Silence is another hidden sign. Many men think if a woman doesn't talk much around them, she isn't interested. But often, silence is her cover for nervousness. She feels the weight of your presence, and it disrupts her normal flow. She may hesitate, stumble over words, or laugh in awkward places, not because she's bored, but because your energy disarms her. Here's the truth. Women who hide their attraction do so out of fear of exposure. They want you to notice without them having to declare it. They crave a man strong enough, aware enough, to decode their silence and see the spark behind their eyes. If you fail to notice, she'll bury it. If you succeed, she'll never forget you did. One of the clearest yet most overlooked signs a woman secretly likes you is the way she reacts to your presence compared to others. Pay close attention to contrast. She might act friendly and relaxed around everyone else, but when it comes to you, something shifts. Her laughter lingers longer, her tone softens or sharpens, her focus sharpens in ways she doesn't show with anyone else. That difference is no accident. It's her psychology revealing preference, even when she tries to disguise it. Another hidden signal comes from subtle jealousy. A woman who feels nothing for you won't care who you talk to, who texts you, or who gets your attention. But a woman who secretly desires you will reveal flashes of discomfort when another woman enters the picture. She may withdraw, grow quieter, or even challenge you playfully, but beneath it all, her emotions betray her. That quiet sting of jealousy is one of the truest unconscious confessions a woman can give. Pay attention to her effort. Interest, even when hidden, always demands energy. Does she dress differently when she knows she'll see you? Does she find excuses to reach out, ask your opinion, or start conversations that don't really need to happen? These are not coincidences. They are her way of planting seeds without risking rejection. She'll never say, "I wanted to look good for you," or "I texted just to feel close," but her actions whisper what her lips won't. Even the way she teases you holds weight. A woman hiding her attraction often cloaks it in sarcasm or playful jabs. To most men, it feels like casual banter, but underneath, it's a safe way for her to connect without fully exposing vulnerability. She hides affection beneath humor because it gives her cover if you don't respond the way she hopes. Here's the paradox. The more a woman likes you, the harder she often works to keep it hidden. Why? Because for her, revealing interest too early feels like surrendering power. But her emotions seep through cracks, no matter how strong her walls are. The man who trains himself to see those cracks gains clarity others overlook. And with that clarity comes opportunity most men only dream of. A woman who secretly likes you will often test you without even realizing it. These aren't games meant to confuse you. They're instincts, deeply wired into her psychology. She'll create small challenges, subtle obstacles, because she wants to see if you're the type of man who notices, who persists, and who holds his frame under pressure. If you misinterpret these tests as disinterest, you'll walk away too soon. But if you recognize them for what they are, you'll see they're her way of asking, "Are you strong enough for me to open up to?" For example, she might delay responding to your messages, not because she doesn't care, but because she wants to measure your reaction. Will you grow needy and frustrated, or will you remain composed? She may playfully disagree with you, not to argue, but to observe if you can stand your ground without crumbling. These moments aren't rejection. They're her way of filtering out men who lack confidence. Another sign is her willingness to share fragments of vulnerability. She may not pour her heart out, but she'll drop hints, stories about her past, moments of insecurity, glimpses of struggle. She doesn't do this with everyone. If she's revealing even small cracks in her armor, it means she trusts you enough to let you see what most people don't. That trust is a quiet form of attraction, one she protects fiercely. There is a reason why some men find themselves endlessly chasing, while others seem to attract without effort. It all comes down to leverage. The man who chases gives up his leverage the moment he places her above himself. The man who is chased holds his leverage because he understands his value is not negotiable. Women are drawn to the man who knows how to hold his frame. Frame is your invisible boundary, the unshakable belief that your world does not bend to please her whims. This doesn't mean arrogance, it doesn't mean coldness, it means you live by standards that cannot be broken just because she is beautiful or alluring. When you hold your frame, you show her that your life is guided by strength, not by desperation, and that makes her lean in, curious, even compelled to test you more deeply. Here's the paradox. The more she tests, the more she invests. Every time she questions you, withdraws to see your reaction, or pushes against your confidence, she is actually searching for proof. Proof that you are not like the others. Proof that you will not collapse the moment she pulls away. And when you remain unshaken, when your energy remains grounded, she feels the rush of safety and respect. That respect quickly transforms into pursuit. But here's a critical key. The chase is not just about mystery, not just about distance, it's about emotional impact. You must leave her with a memory every time you interact. Too many men are forgettable because they blend into the sea of predictability. They use the same compliments, the same routines, the same attention. Nothing about them lingers in her mind. If you want her chasing, give her emotions she cannot find elsewhere. Spark her laughter, but also challenge her thinking. Let her feel your presence, but also your silence. Let her see your warmth, but also your edge. Humans are addicted to contrast. It is the push and pull that keeps the mind engaged. If she can't easily define you, she won't be able to release you from her thoughts. When this dynamic takes root, the balance of power changes forever. She no longer waits for you to prove yourself. She begins to prove herself to you. She invests her time, her attention, her energy, because deep down, she knows a man like you is rare. And the rarity of your presence makes her chase with everything she has. The secret to making her chase you is not about tricking her. It is about becoming a man she cannot ignore. When a woman feels she has to fight for your attention, when she realizes that your validation is not freely given, something powerful happens inside her. She invests. And once she invests, her emotions follow. Think about the relationships where men give everything away too soon. They bend their lives to fit her schedule, drown her in validation, and constantly remind her of her worth. Ironically, instead of making her stay, it drives her away. Why? Because it leaves her with no chase, no challenge, no reason to fight for the connection. A woman values what she earns. She values the man who makes her feel that his time is precious, his energy is rare, and his presence is a reward. To reach that level, you must commit to one truth. You are already enough. You don't need to chase her approval, because your value does not depend on her attention. You are the prize. And when you truly believe that, not as an act, not as a performance, but as a core truth, you will notice something shift. Women will sense it. They will lean in closer. They will want to secure a place in your world before someone else does. The chase is not about making her desperate. It's about creating polarity. Masculine energy is grounded, focused, directional. Feminine energy is drawn to that stability, testing it, pushing against it, and ultimately surrendering to it when it proves unshakable. If you stand firm in your energy, if you live a life filled with purpose, discipline, and mystery, she will chase not because you forced her to, but because her instincts won't allow her to do otherwise. So understand this. You don't need to become colder, meaner, or manipulative. You simply need to step into the power you've been hiding, the power of restraint, the power of self-respect, the power of not needing her, but choosing her only if she earns it. That choice is what flips the script. That choice is what makes her run after you. Now, I want to ask you something personal. Have you ever had a woman chase you, even when you weren't interested? Or are you always the one doing the chasing? Drop your answer in the comments below because I want to hear your truth. And if this message hit you deeply, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who desperately needs to hear it tonight.